Hello everyone and welcome back to Project Ozone Reloaded Titan Mode. You're watching episode 16 and today I want to start with a build instead of finishing one. I've actually finished a lot of quests between episodes and I certainly want to wrap all those up and I want to do several more, but I want to start with something that's a build in this episode just to mix it up a little bit. So what I want to do today is I want to make a build that will support doing a certain quest. It was the one that I actually had on the screen when I first came in here, which was the Flux Crystal quest in the Delta page. And the Flux Crystal is made, I need 6 of them, and the Flux Crystal is made in the fluid transposer from thermal expansion by combining 1 diamond with a certain amount of destabilized redstone, enough 2 redstone dusts worth of it. So let's go ahead and build a machine that will infuse items with destabilized redstone. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a chest here, and I am going to need to have a fluid transposer and a magma crucible. And the magma crucible, I'll just put right there, is going to melt the redstone. And this is already pre-configured actually. The redstone's going to come in the left side and go out the top. And then a fluid transposer will go on top of that, and it will take its inputs from either the back or the bottom. The bottom is actually where the redstone is going to come in, and the back is where we're going to put in the other item, the item to be infused. And I'm going to do that from this chest just using an Ender IO conduit. So we will go ahead and tell that to insert on this end, and it will extract from here. So that means that the items that we've got to provide 3 things here. We've got to provide the items to be infused, and we've got to provide the redstone, and then we've got to have a location where things come out. Now, the location where things come out is going to be the pipe that's doing the crafting. And that's going to be a Logistics Chassis Mark V, because that will let me set up 5 recipes on the one item. Where is my wrench? I don't know, I may have to find a wrench. Let's see if this one right here will do. No, it will not. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where my wrench went. I'll have to look that up. Alright. The other item is going to be a satellite pipe. This is telling the logistics pipe where to send the materials for crafting. And so they're going to get sent to this chest. And then finally, we need to actually supply redstone. And I'm going to, instead of supplying redstone as one of the materials and trying to figure out which box which item goes to, I'm just going to provide a continuous supply of redstone to the magma crucible. That means that it will have enough destabilized redstone on hand to fill this tank, and then a whole stack of redstone that has not been melted in the magma crucible. And that's a fair amount of redstone, but it's not enough that it's a problem. So just to get that started, let's go ahead and, well, I can't put that module in there. I'll be back when I find that wrench. Found it. It was in the first place I looked, the chest upstairs where I tossed everything to be sorted. Okay, so on this Logistics Chassis Mark II, I want to put in an active supplier module and tell it to just always supply a bunch of redstone. I'll just make it a whole stack. Just like that. So I'm going to have to hook all of this up to the logistics pipe system. There is conveniently a pipe up above from the previous system we put in that does the smelting. So let's just connect up to there, like that. And this should start requesting redstone immediately. I don't see any coming down the pike yet, but it may take a few seconds. As soon as, okay, here it comes. So it goes in there. There's no power yet, so let me go ahead and hook up power. And I didn't bring any energy conduits. I'm always missing something on these builds. Let me just grab some energy conduits really quickly. I know exactly where they are, so no need to cut. Alright, to connect up energy, I'm just going to come along here and tap some energy off of where it's already coming through over here. So I'll put conduits in there and then up to the sides of the machines to go ahead and start pulling in energy. And this will immediately start melting down redstone and shipping it up here. So we're good there. Let me go ahead and put some conduit facades on that conduit so it doesn't look so messy down there on the floor. Put one there, there, and there, and except that you see stuff going into the ground and coming out of the ground, you would never know that it was there. Alright, so I need to set up the recipe for the flux crystal. And I'm not going to worry about the redstone part because I'm continuously filling that tank with destabilized redstone. But I need to send a diamond, and I'm going to get back a flux crystal. So let me go ahead and grab a crafting module. And I'm going to have to assign a number to this logistics pipe. 2 will do. And then I'm going to bring the crafting module up here, and I'm going to say that to logistics pipe 2, I want you to send a diamond. Now I don't have the finished item yet, so I can't tell it what to output. But as soon as I put this in here, what should happen is it should fill this crystal and eject it out the side. This is a logistics pipe, so it will immediately go and try to route it somewhere. There won't be anywhere that it can route it, so it will just send it up to my sorting chest and I'll go up there and grab it. So we put that in there and it's gone. And it should show up very quickly. There it is, flux crystal. So going back downstairs, not quite that far downstairs, let me come back over to this pipe and tell it that the output is a flux crystal. So that recipe is now completely configured, and we can now make flux crystals on the logistics pipe network. So let's go back up there and finish that quest by making 5 more. So I want 5. We'll just tell it to make those. And if we come down here, we should see some diamonds coming through the pipe. Here they come. And they just landed in here. And they're getting filled up and sent back up top. So that machine is now set up and working, and I can use it to infuse redstone into a whole variety of things, like probably won't use the thermal expansion power conduits, but the higher ones require that you fill them with redstone. There are some other, well, there's actually a quest where I'm going to have to make some, but be that as it may. I don't see my crystals here. I guess they went into there. That's a little unusual. I would expect them to have gone here. Nonetheless, I now have 6 of them, and that quest is available to finish. Let's go ahead and finish all the quests that are pending, and I'll just start at the beginning with beta. In beta, I made enough Zavicio to have finished out the Zavicio quest, so let's claim a reward there. I also went and finished the iron plant and the emerald plant. Emerald plant says it unlocks a quest elsewhere. I wouldn't get too sure on that. Okay, and then I finished all of these mystical flower seeds, so all of those have now been finished. And I will just claim them, every last one. And there were a lot of them, weren't there? Now, I still have not found any gold ore to grow these plants. I'm either going to have to go to some other dimension, or I'm going to have to build some machines to craft it, or I might just possibly use the orchid to get some. But just mining in the nether is apparently not going to get me any nether gold ore. It doesn't seem to be spawning there. I looked at the config files. It looks like it should, but I might have missed something somewhere. It may be that it just isn't spawning down at the low level where I'm digging, but again, if I interpret the config files correctly, it should be. So on the next one, it's Delta, and here I finished glowstonic ingots, and I have sort of decided that on a lot of these quests where it's just sort of doing the same thing over and over again just with different materials, I'm probably not going to be completing them on camera. So I've sort of gone and done the metal ingots as much as I can, and probably since I've already done flux ducts and pipes on camera, I'm probably just going to finish these strips off camera and we'll just accept the reward. Same thing with the cells. Until I get to one that's a little different, I think that the redstone cell is a little different because it has to be filled in that machine that I just made. But like if the machine frames are the same, then I will do them off camera. And that's just so that I'm not doing so many recipe combines for very basic things that are really just repeats of what came before, just with different materials on camera, because I'm finding that I'm doing too much of that, really. Okay, so I finished the glowstonic steel, which is made in the alloy smeltery. That actually leads to this vibrantium, which does unlock a quest somewhere, or so it says. This is an expensive material. Let me just look that up. This is made in the alloy smeltery, but aside from requiring 8 vibrant alloy and 32 solarium per ingot, it also requires 2 of these enticing crystals, each one of which requires a villager. So I've sort of been working and culling the livestock up there, getting rid of the useless villagers and converting them into crystals, and we'll have to see what happens on that. Eventually I may get some that I don't want to get rid of, and then I may have to be stuck making more doors or moving villagers somewhere. But I'm going to need to sacrifice 24 villagers just to finish this quest. So it's taking a while. Flux infused electrum I finished off camera. It's also made in the alloy smeltery. And then flux crystal, let's claim the reward on that one. So we've claimed all the open rewards. Let's see if anything actually did open up. No new chapters open, so I really think that probably means that nothing opened, but let's take a look. Nothing there. This is all the same. And that's all the same. That one we were just on, and so it's the same. Same. Now in the very last chapter, let's see. It's down to 62. I think it was 64 in the last episode. Alright. So what I actually want to work on today, let me go ahead and put some of this stuff away. And maybe I should actually go ahead and open reward bags so I can put that away too. Let's do that. Chunk loaders, falling belt, seen all this stuff. Viaducts, these are actually kind of a neat idea. They're people movers. I haven't used them yet and probably won't because I'll probably just use teleporters, but it's an interesting idea. Emerald Singularity, now that one should be useful eventually. Cobblestone Framework, and looks like slime balls, leaves, gelatinous slime, and living root. I don't know, maybe those are some special leaves? I don't know. I can eventually use the slime balls. I need to make some slime seeds probably, and this base, one of the chunks that it's built on is a slime chunk. So when I get deep enough and actually build my mob spawner, that's what I'm sort of delaying building an automated mob spawner on, building more platforms. But when I get deep enough, I'll build that, and it will be in an area where slimes can just naturally spawn. Okay, The other thing that I want to do today is I want to go ahead and start doing a number of other quests. And I think, was there anything in alpha for sure? Not really. I do need to start working on this MagneticCraft and immersive engineering, but I'm not going to do it today. I have started making some string because I'm going to need a lot of string for the wind turbines. One of the crops that I bred was Natura cotton, and I've got some of it set up in the farm upstairs, so I should be getting some cotton down here. Yes, so cotton is gradually coming in there. While I'm here, let me grab some of that because I'll need some of it. Alright, so nothing there. On beta, I do want to go ahead and do the ultimate furnace, the master infusion. I don't think I'm going to be... Well, Temperio only requires one, so I probably can do that one. Let's go ahead and do those. I'm going to need my Zavicio essence, and I'm going to need my extreme infusion stone. Windows Update's giving me an alert. Let me get rid of that. Okay. So to make the Temperio essence, all I need to do is surround my extreme infusion stone with Zavicio, I believe. No. I've got to make the stone first. So experience essence, I believe, is an appropriate one for upgrading this. Yes. So this will get me the master infusion stone. Now I can put Zavicio essence around this one. And that will get me Temperio essence. And then if I find my furnace somewhere, there it is right there, I don't think it's Zavicio essence you surround it with. No, it's got to be Temperio essence. So let me get my master infusion stone and make some more of this. And then we'll surround this one with Temperio essence. And there we go, ultimate furnace. So did that finish all three of those quests? Yes, it did. Alright, now all that's left on magical crops right now is the armor, and there's a reason why I haven't even really started on the armor. Let's look at the recipe for the Axio helm, since that's the one it shows. It's all about the same. The Axio helmet requires Axio ingots, which is fine, but it also requires a flux-infused helm. That in turn requires a Spectre helmet, as well as these plating materials, and I'm just going to ignore the metal from now on because we're focused on the helmet. So I've got to have a Spectre helmet, which requires a titanium helmet, which requires a diamond helmet, which requires a gravitite helmet, which requires reinforced exoskeleton, which requires jade, and so on down all the way to leather. And so it's a ton of stuff you've got to do on that. I will be doing it pretty soon, but I want to see if I can maybe get a blacksmith villager that will trade me a diamond helmet first, like I've already got the chest over here. So I might do the chest sometime pretty soon. Let me clear out some of this stuff in inventory and maybe get a few more bags opened up. Okay, this says forbidden reward. It's probably pretty good. It certainly looks snazzy. Diamond apple, tier 3 chance pennant. Okay, let's look at the sword. Soulbound 1 prevents item from being lost on death. Knockback, looting, experience boost 5, Reaper enchantment. That will definitely be helpful. Plus 11 max health, plus 999 attack damage, plus 4 knockback resistance. You know, this seems like a pretty good sword. I think I'm just going to put that right there and put this other one aside for the time being. And I don't know if I can enchant it. I might put something like, well, it's already got looting on it. Level 50 looting, so yeah, that's going to be pretty nice. I think I ought to go upstairs and try that one out. Do I have any mobs over here? Looks like I don't. Oh, I'm running fast for some reason. Is that on here? I don't see it, but that is awfully fast running. Okay, plain cow. Plain cow gone. And it dropped 21 raw beef. Well, that's some pretty nice looting. So, yeah, that's going to be a useful sword. I feel almost like I'm cheating by having gotten it. Alright, let's see. Nothing else on this page at this point. I am going to be doing some more Botania pretty soon. I had a little bit of an issue with my thermalillies. Let me go up there and talk about that in just a minute because it does need to be mentioned. Where are those? Over here. Now, I've got them working now, and they're generating more mana than they were, but for the longest time they were generating just the barest trickle of mana, and I couldn't figure out why. And I went and read the book a little more, and it turns out my initial interpretation was that thermalillies are one of those flowers that, it does seem to be having something going on here, because I'm seeing particles over them. They're full, and I'm not sure why. Well, they show full, but I click them a second time and they're not, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. What I found out was that thermalillies are one of these where you have special considerations for you can't feed them during their cooldown period. Because if you do, it resets the cooldown and it just consumes and wastes resources. So that's a little bit of a problem with these. So what I've done is I've set up a little redstone apparatus here that causes the fountain to be shut down most of the time, but every like almost 6 minutes it will fire up for long enough to feed each of these 3 flowers once, and then it will wait around again before it generates any more mana, or before it generates any more lava. So that's got these flowers running as much as they are able to run, pretty much, and is not wasting very much lava. I think it's wasting 1 block in 4 right now because it does leave some extra lava because the timer's just a little bit long. But it is beginning to fill up these mana pools a little better now. So like a 5th full on those 3, and this one, which always had more, is getting to be maybe 4/5 full. Alright, so now that I've mentioned that, this is actually done, by the way, just using Project Red integration circuits. There's a timer, and to make the timer just sends a single very quick pulse, but I need something longer than that, so I went ahead and put on a repeater, which is actually set to make it fairly long, and then there's an inverter because I want it on but then off for a short period of time instead of the reverse. So that's all that's going on with that. Going back downstairs and seeing what I have set up today, I was looking at the Applied Energistics chapter at the inscriber. And the inscriber, if we look at the recipe, requires items from Mekanism. It requires the steel casing, which I've already made, but it also requires atomic alloy, which I have not made any attempt to start on yet. So really I want to spend some time today in the Mekanism chapter, which is Epsilon, doing a little bit on these quests. Before I do that, I do still want to get my flying to be a little more useful, so I want to go ahead and do just a little bit more in this chapter right here that involves Ender IO. So I've got some items set up here. The first thing I want to work on is going ahead and upgrading the jetpack. So I'm going to need 2 vibrant thrusters, and those are made by using this recipe that I've got set up right here. Vibrant crystals, redstone alloy, Ender energy conduits, which is the high-end ones, octadic capacitors, that's the high-end one, and vibrant alloy. So let me pull all that stuff out of here and take it over to the crafting table, and I'll make a couple of thrusters. There are my thrusters. So the next piece of it is the thrusters go here, and I will need my energetic jetpack. It goes in the center there. So let me take this over to the table and do that combined. Alright, so vibrant jetpack. And things start to get much more involved after this point. So I'm hoping that this is a more suitable jetpack. Let's see what comes up when I fly. So I'm falling much more slowly, and the discharge is a bit slower too. One of the things that I'm noticing in this mod pack, and I'm not sure if it's the way it's supposed to be or if it's not, it's different from the other one that I'm doing, is that the jetpack is not refueling while worn. You actually do have to take and remove it. All you got to do is get it on your cursor and it will recharge, but it would be nice if it was charging while it was worn. One thing it might be is it might be this huge range that is set up on this thing. The charger is actually set up with a range of 10,000 blocks. I mostly have not been tweaking config files unless there's a problem. I haven't tweaked them at all in this series yet, but I might reduce that range and see if that will cause the jetpack to recharge while it's worn. It may be that it's just searching too much area or something like that. I don't know. I'll try it and see if it works. If it doesn't, then I guess I'll just deal and I'll set it back to 10,000. But I don't need a 10,000 block range on a wireless charger. I can set up auxiliary power depots somewhere if I need to in order to get that range. Okay, next item, I want to go ahead and set up the enchanter. This one is an Ender IO enchanting table that allows you to pick the enchants. You do have to feed it stuff. Let's come over here and get it. These are the materials right here. It requires a couple of sapphires, an enchantment table, and then some dark steel. There we go. So I can plop this down somewhere. Right here next to the liquor stand will be fine. So it does have a recipe tab here, so it requires a bunch of levels and it requires a specific item, but it will convert a book and quill into the enchanted book that you want, which is pretty good. It has a set of them that it supports. I don't think it's going to be all of them, but some of them, like Silk Touch, for example, might be nice to have and specifically get. Another way to get these, of course, is to use the Magical Crops books, and I'm getting plenty of experience essence at this point, so that's sort of what I've been doing with that. The next item I want to do is on the first tab. I want to go back over here to Alpha because I do have the materials to finish the Hell Furnace. So let's finish the Hell Furnace, and then I can put it away and forget about it forever. I needed blocks of peridot, and I didn't have them. So this recipe needs a vibrant gear, which is just a component, and I don't have them on hand, but it's made by surrounding any of various types of gears. I'm using the iron one here with energetic alloy, and it'll produce, well, it's an energetic alloy gear, not a vibrant one, but it's a gear. Okay, nether brick, block of peridot, previous tier furnace, pyrotheum dust, and we have a hell furnace. We can come over here and claim the reward on that one just right away so I can get off this chapter. And I'll plop it down. It's supposedly pretty fast, but I prefer to use RF for smelting things. Okay, next up, I was looking on the Ender IO tab again. If we go over here, I was looking at the photocell, and the photocell has a component that requires that I make some more progress in either MagneticCraft or Immersive Engineering before I will have the component. It's like some quartz dust that only comes from those two mods. And so I can't make the photovoltaic cell yet. Probably next episode I will do some work on those mods. So the next piece to work on is going to be the XP obelisk. It does say it unlocks something somewhere, and probably just be the final chapter bit. To make that I needed some magical wood, so I made some. The first component on that is this, I think it's called like a rod of experience or something like that. So I need, the recipe is a little different on this one. It requires a glowstonic steel ingot and 2 solarium and magical wood. You know, it does require that, but I bet it requires it in the QED. Let me come over here and put that stuff in. There we go. So we're making an experience rod. Alright, and the other component for this is just some solarium and a machine chassis, and that may be in this machine too. It's not. Okay. It's a little hard to keep track of which one of those recipes have been moved to that one. I don't know why this one would not be in that machine, because it's not exactly something you're going to automate. How many experience obelisks do you need? This allows you to set aside your experience for future use. Like right now I've got 63 levels. I can take and put them in the machine. Let's just put 10 of them in there. Now it says I've got 53, and there's 46 levels worth of experience in this machine, because higher levels have more experience than lower ones. I can put it all in here, and then I can move it into a tank if I need to for storage. I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, but that one's done now. Let's claim a reward. I'll just get the berries. Let's go ahead and get the Vibrant Jetpack reward and the Enchanter, because I'm about to move off of this page. So we're making pretty good progress on this page. There are just a few of them left here, and I'm probably going to finish a lot of these between episodes. We'll just have to see. So I'll put the chance cube away. Let's open the reward bags. Another cobblestone framework. Ender chest and ender tank. Those, the chest particularly is pretty nice, so I will probably be using those eventually. Alright, next is PneumaticCraft and Mekanism, and PneumaticCraft, it wants me to build a pressure chamber, and it's got a bunch of components here for me to make, and it says to make one of each of them. The recipes generally make more than that, and I'm going to need more of them to build a pressure chamber. This is a mod that I have not used much in the past. I do remember when it had the flowers that grew all over the world that were really kind of a nuisance, because they were constantly making noise and spreading and generating lag and so on. Those have been replaced with an oil mechanism at this point. But I had never really used this very much, and so I needed to set up a pressure chamber in a test world and see how it worked. I have figured it out. I'm not going to set up a pressure chamber today, but I will make the components and I'll set it up between episodes. So the first component we need is a pressure chamber wall, and that is just made with a bunch of these compressed iron ingots in a circle. So pressure chamber wall. There's an almost identical recipe, except with glass in the center, for the pressure chamber glass. We'll put that over here, surround it with the compressed iron, and we get the pressure chamber window. It's not glass, it's window. Alright, we're going to need some way of getting items in and out of this machine, this chamber, and I'm going to make 2 of them, but we just need pressure chamber interface. The quest only required 1, but okay. And then we've got to generate some compressed air, and I think that is going to be this. Before I do that, I've got to have some pipes. because they're a component of this. We need a way to move our compressed air around, and we do that using pressurized air pipes. I forget exactly what they're called. Pressure tubes. Okay. And then we're going to need to make a machine to generate the compressed air, and that is this, the air compressor. And it's just the same sort of ring of compressed iron, except that the bottom is replaced with a furnace and the side is replaced with a pressure tube. And then the last item I've got on here, something goes in the middle of that. It's going to be the pressure chamber valve, and those are made using the same ring, but it's got a pressure tube in the middle. So there's our valve. And this is to get air into and out of the chamber. So did that complete everything on this page? It did. Let's get a reward bag. And what's in the bag? Another low-tier chance pendant. So I actually have a chest set up here for PneumaticCraft. Let's just toss this directly in there. Alright, now the other direction we want to go here is with PneumaticCraft, and to do that I'm going to need to make this stuff. Basic universal cable, basic mechanical pipes, basic pressurized tube, basic logistical transporter, and basic thermodynamic conductor. I don't know for sure what all of these do. These are mechanisms, pipes, and cables. I do know that this one is a power cable. This one is, I believe, a fluid pipe. This one is probably like a gas pipe or something. This one is an item pipe, and from the name of this one I would assume that it conducts heat, but I have never used heat with Mekanism, so I'm not sure. The only one of these that's a little weird is the basic logistical transporter. All of these are made just with steel. It's a recipe very much like a BuildCraft pipe, except that it uses steel. Let me get a bunch of steel on the sides. And then in the center there is some item that, like for example, if I put redstone in the middle, there's my basic universal cable. Okay, if I wanted to do glass in the middle, there's my pressurized tube. So let me look these up. So I did the one that was redstone. There's one that's a bucket. This one's the one for moving fluids, I presume. So put that one, that's the basic mechanical pipe. This one is the pressurized tube. That one was the glass. This last one uses a copper ingot, which is copper right there. Okay, and then there's one more that I skipped, which is the basic logistical transporter. This requires a basic control circuit, and the basic control circuit is made by essentially infusing osmium with redstone in a metallurgic infuser. So I'm going to put an osmium ingot there, and I don't know how much redstone it requires, but I don't want to put more than's necessary, so let me just put that in there. It went into a sort of a tank over here. It says redstone 10, and it's infusing this thing, and it looks like one redstone was enough to do it. So we got our basic control circuit. Let's put that in the middle, and that gets us the basic logistical transporter, which I think means we finished that quest. So, yes. It's a basic reward bag, some sort of junk in it, I'm sure. Looks like more chisel conversion devices. Alright, so next would be the next tier of pipes. I'm not going to make those today. I will make them off camera because they are just infusing the existing ones. For example, if we go to the advanced universal cable, It's just the regular cables, but with this enriched alloy in the middle. Now I am going to make the enriched alloy because that is in this quest. And it just wants enriched alloy, and it's redstone infused iron. So let's come over here and get an iron ingot right there and put it in the metallurgic infuser. And again, I'll put a piece of redstone in there. It says redstone 10 now, and it's infusing. So there's our enriched alloy. And that will finish, well, it didn't finish it because now I've got to craft something. I need an energy tablet, an item speed upgrade, and an energy upgrade. Let's take a look at those. Energy tablet needs 2 of those, plus some gold and some redstone. So I guess I'm going to need to make several of those. Let me just tell it to make 8 of them. And while we're waiting on that, the others were the item speed upgrade and the energy upgrade. So the energy upgrade requires 2 of them, and some gold powder, and looks like some clear glass. I'll just put some gold over here to make powder out of it. And the other one was the speed upgrade. And that one requires osmium powder as well as enriched alloy. And I think the osmium powder can be made in this machine as well. Hope so. Yes. Alright, so we've got a few of these now. It wanted glass on the top. So glass, enriched alloy, and pulverized gold gets us our energy upgrade. Glass, enriched alloy, and osmium gets us our item speed upgrade. And the other one was the energy, what was it, a tablet? There's the upgrade tablet. And it wants gold up and down the center and redstone on the corners. I've got redstone. So redstone, and then last our enriched alloy. So energy tablet, and I will get that one. And I got another, this one says small wizard tower ruins, but I got 2 of these towers now. The other one is just a medium wizard tower. So when I get space built for those, I will build them. I have an idea for what I'm going to do with them. But that will be on the agenda soonish. Probably not just immediately. Alright, I think that is all that I had planned for today. Got a lot done. Got a very nice sword. And any of these that are just making more sophisticated cables or alloys, unless there is something about them that is substantially different from the others, I will just go ahead and make them and turn them in the next episode. So that will speed things up maybe a little. Some of these said that they should have opened stuff up, but I think that they're still just going and decrementing the counter on this one. It's down to 58. But it won't be done anytime soon because we got to open up these other chapters. I'm hoping that when I make the maybe this alloy, the ultimate alloy, atomic alloy, it might open up applied energistics. If it does, that'll be good because I'll probably spend a lot of time then with AE, getting an AE system set up before I get too heavily invested in logistics pipes. Logistics pipes is actually pretty convenient. I make good use of it in my other series. However, one of the problems with it is that you just get so heavily invested in it that it becomes very hard to rip it out and replace it with AE later on. I'd like to maybe get it a little sooner so that I don't have that going on. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and finish out this episode, so let me just say that if you enjoyed it or found it useful, please like, subscribe, comment, or share. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.